Hey everyone, this is Martin from How to Make Mobile Games, and a big Happy New Year. I wanted to do a Happy New Year video because it is now 2014 in China, like Shanghai time. Just turned like 2 minutes ago, and I wanted to say a big Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas to everyone as well because I didn't say Merry Christmas a few days ago. It's been a cool couple of days. I managed to relax a little bit. I went to Shanghai a few weeks ago, and I spent sort of a Christmassy holiday there as well in the hotel. So that was really cool, and it was nice to get in a place that had like people, because around here there's no people. So it's been a cool 2013, and I just wanted to say first is like a great big thank you to all the fans on the channel, all the comments, all the people that have been helped through the video, especially the Pong tutorial. The one that I did like over a year ago now. It's amazing that people still are commenting and still sending some messages and saying thanks very much for the Pong tutorial and how it helped them, and giving me information and sharing with the other users who have like viewed the videos as well. You know, that's so cool. I didn't expect that to happen. And the channel now has roughly like 2,500 subscribers, I think, something like this, maybe more. I can't remember. I checked a few days ago, but I can't remember. That's really cool as well because I didn't expect the channel to really get this much attention, you know, from developers. But it seems like it's been really useful. This past few months, I've not done a lot because it's been a really busy time for me this past few months, and that's been the same with like the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, ever since I started to do mobile games and started to do coding and publishing. So I hope to do more, as I've always said, and it's been very cool to know, and I've made some like really cool friends on the channel as well who I'm speaking with now, like on Skype and also through email, and trying to develop some new like partnerships there or business cooperation opportunities. So a great big thanks for all the comments and all the help. I like that you liked the time-lapse videos too. I posted some of the time-lapse videos 2 days ago or a week ago. That's the one where you can see me developing a game in 24 hours, and I speeded it up so you can see, you know, everything in sort of 15 or 20 minutes. That's cool that you guys liked that one. I was very surprised. I thought it might have just been really boring, but I hopefully put some cool music in there, and that was kind of entertaining as well. And there's a new one that I just did like 2 days ago, which was or 3 days ago, and that was updating the newest source code for the Accelerate X project. And that took me around 48 hours, and that was a really tiring couple of days. Oh my God, I was in my bed late at night, and that it was the second night of updating that source code to develop a new game and release a new game called Save Yourself 2014. And it's the guy running through a nice river, and he's sort of slashing up elves and reindeers. And it feels a lot better now that he's got a sword. So definitely check it out. It's called Save Yourself 2014, Zombie Elf and Deer Hunter. Big title, I know, but I put the link in the video as well, so check it out. But I was so tired that night. I was really tired. And I made a note here, and I'll tell you in a moment what I'm talking about, but it's just about not being too tired. So some comments were removed. Yeah, so I noticed some people mentioned in the comments, they said that I removed their comment off the channel. Just so you know, I've never deleted any comments off the channel unless it was like a clear sort of marketing comment. I might have done one or two like a year ago. But YouTube recently updated their comment system so that old comments get removed for some reason. And a bunch of comments get flagged as spam when they're clearly not spam, and YouTube has just done this automatically with their, you know, their software robot, whatever it is. And I checked some of the comments that were labeled as spam, and they weren't spam. So my apologies that some of the comments have gone missing. It wasn't me that removed them, so I'll find some time to go through these comments and put them back. So, you know, please be reassured it wasn't me that removed them. It's this stupid YouTube update that's affected a lot of people. And also, if there's a few channels that I do watch as well, like the Angry Joe Show, and also I think it's Boogie9288. I think this guy who does the big fat guy who does like a lot of vlogs, and he talks about games and things as well. And he does a character called Francis. I've watched his channel more recently as well, And I want to say Happy New Year to those guys also, because I know that especially Angry Joe show, like the recent changes on YouTube, whereby if you have some copyright material in your video, you can no longer make money with that video. The money goes to the copyright owner, even if it's just a 10-second segment. So, I hope that you guys figure out a way to get through this hard time on YouTube, because I know that's your livelihood. I know that's how you make money. And I really feel for you as well, especially Angry Joe show, because he's basically a one-man guy like me, and a lot of you guys are as well, independent developers. He does videos on YouTube about games, and different to us, we develop games. But he's a one-man, creator, and his whole sort of revenue stream is on YouTube, I believe. And he was very heavily impacted by this recent YouTube update, where they said, hey, if you have any copyrighted material on your channel, then the money can't go to you. The ad revenue has to go to the copyrighted, like might be Sony or some kind of music label or some game developer, whoever it may be. So my heart goes out to you guys, because I know that can have a really big impact, especially as an independent indie creator of some kind, especially like us as game developers. So next point anyway, so moving on, New Year's resolutions for me and mobile. Yeah, so this is 2014 now, new year. 2013 I learned a lot of stuff. It was a very busy year, and I've been thinking a lot this past few weeks about how to do business more and how to be scalable, like this first point here. Like I heard this guy on YouTube, and I sometimes watch how to do business videos, and I'm always interested in how to be an entrepreneur, because I see myself personally not as just a game developer, not just a coder or creator, but also as an entrepreneur. And that's really the first thing I want to be, is I want to grow businesses in the games industry, and then let other people run them, then grow another one, let people run them, grow another and another. And that's really what I want to be. I'm not very good at running a business. I'm not very good at managing people, I don't think, because I've done that before and it's not a passion. But I do have a passion for starting things and letting them grow and blossom, and then let other people handle them who can do it much better than I can. I'm not the best coder in the world by far, the best artist by very far. Not the best designer or manager, but I do believe that I can start businesses, and I want to do that better. So one of the things I want to do with my business, Culpable Play, and with my publishing business, PandaTap, is I want it to be scalable. What that means is allowing it to grow as big or as small as I want, without needing to chew into all of my revenue and profit. So I want to hire people. They might be programmers, they might be BD, like business development staff, they might be artists, they might be anybody. But I want to find a model where I can scale up and have a great system in place. Now, I think everyone can, people can say to me, okay, hire a coder, hire an artist. Yeah, that's possible. And that's something that I've always thought about, is why don't I hire a coder? Because I've been doing this for 3 years almost now. I've been coding and doing artwork for 3 years and releasing my own games, and that's done well. But I don't want to be the guy just sat there on his own doing a business for the next 3 years. I want this to be scalable, where I can hire people, and that's the project manager, that's the designer, or that's the BD, or whatever it is. But the problem is right now is if I hire a coder or an artist, I don't have the money to cover them right now. Because those kind of guys are expensive, especially overseas, and even in China, they're very, very expensive guys. So I have to find a model that's better and makes a higher revenue per man hour, per day. And I've been thinking more and more about that reskinning model. Like I do a one source code project, and I repeat that source code project, and I make new games from that one source code, and I grow the source code, and then I release a new game. I grow it and I release a new game. And I work with other developers to also release versions of this source code. And I'm thinking more and more about that, or how to partner with developers to do something a little bit new and different, because I think now that the app stores are just too competitive. You're either a big publisher or a big developer that does pretty well, or you're an independent developer that makes a little bit of money on some small games. And there's not much middle ground, maybe. So I've built big games before. bigger games, and I've spent more time. For example, I've spent 2 months of a project. I spent 6 months on a project called Monster Mall on Android, and I did this with the developer team, the programmer in Pakistan, the artist in India, my project manager in Malaysia, and me in Shanghai. And we spent 6 months doing this, and it made I don't know how many. It makes like $2 or $3 a day, and we spent 6 months. And luckily, the money came from a big publisher because we were using their platform. So that's why we got the funding to do this project. But once it was released, only $2 or $3 a day. Another game I spent 2 months on, and it made roughly, like $3 a day, maybe two sometimes, perhaps. That was Chick's Revenge. It's on Android and iOS. So it used to be the case where I could make a game in 1 week and then that would make $5 to $10. But it's just going lower and lower right now. So we need to think different. To quote Apple, we need to think of a new way to make revenue in this industry. I think it can't just be you make a game, you publish it. You make a game, you publish it. You can't do that. I think you have to find a new opportunity. Maybe, like we said, the reskinning model of making a new game quickly using one source code might work. It might also be, say, there's opportunities in India, or maybe on like smart TVs or something like this, or maybe some middleware. Maybe you build a social network in your game. Something different anyway, which means that you can be scalable and make more money per man hour that you put into the project. So anyway, I'm sort of trailing off here, guys, because I have had some wine and I'm a little bit tipsy, so I'm kind of going off on one. But to make the business scalable and not just me coding, that's my goal for 2014. And I really want to make that focus, figure out how to hire other people, to build the business for me so that I can then go on and do something else and be an entrepreneur, which is what I really want to be. So work with more developers to publish games. It can't always be you. It can't always be you coding. You have to let go at some point and let other people do things, and I have to find a way to do that. So I won't go on about that point too much. I've already mentioned it for 5 minutes there. Find more opportunities at different app stores and spread the revenue. I was thinking about this just today, and I'm going to do something about this real soon with my latest update for Save Yourself 2014, which is the game that I just published from the latest source code. Maybe there's some more money to be made in other app stores like Slide.me or Mob and Go or GetJar or perhaps some of the Chinese app stores. So I want to not just focus on Google Play, Amazon and iOS, because those are great app stores and those are the biggest ones in the West for sure. But maybe there's some other opportunities where I can spread out that revenue, because one of the things I noticed in 2013 from my own experience and from those others, like for example, like we said, the Angry Joe show before, is that you've got to like spread your risk out, spread your revenue streams. If you have a game in the market and it's a very good game, don't just rely on the iTunes App Store and don't just rely on, say, in-app purchases. You have to have ads plus chart boost plus in-app purchases plus an offer wall like Tapjoy, and then put it on Google, Amazon, Slide.me, the Chinese app stores. And I know China has a lot of problems with piracy, but at least you're making extra revenue from that channel as well. So definitely like spread it out as much as possible. Never rely on just one area, because I see this a lot on the iPhone Dev SDK forum. Is a lot of guys saying, "Oh, my iTunes App Store revenue is down," blah 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 blah, and they're only in one app store. That's a huge risk. Never just rely on one revenue stream in any business. Always spread that out. And it's like Donald Trump said. He was interviewed one time, and the interviewer said, "Mr. Trump, you have two businesses that are in trouble right now. What do you think about that?" And he said, "Well, I don't care. I've got 50 other businesses that are doing great." He doesn't care because he's spread out his risk and his revenue streams so well. And that's one of the big things I also want to do as well, is make sure that I've got many different revenue streams within the games industry. That might be selling source code to other developers. It might be publishing with other developers as a cooperation and we do a revenue share. It might be other app stores. It might be different revenue streams like Bitcoins, for example. So that's one of the big ones I want to do as well. Okay, next point. Don't work too hard. Don't kill myself working. Yeah, Jesus, 2013 wasn't too bad. It wasn't as bad as 2012. Like, the world ended for me in 2012. It was such a hard year. It was the grind year, and I think that was the point where I was kind of like building up my revenue, and I was working really hard to get a lot of games into the market, and I was working so much, and every night I'd sort of go to bed like exhausted, like I'd just run a marathon, and I want to stop that. I want to change that because that's not the way I should, work. I shouldn't kill myself working. It's really terrible. Like I said, I was doing that video, that time lapse video the other day, the 48 hours one, and I was in bed, and I was like, I really want to get this game finished today. I was going for my target, and I think there's, obviously a line between like working hard and like just killing yourself. I don't think it's good because physically you just damage your body. I just felt like I was just damaging my body as I was working. I felt like I was just crushing my brain cells and just shaving off days of my life. I was going to live to 80. Now I'm only going to live to 79 or whatever. That's what it felt like when I was doing it. And I was just like, Martin, you've just got to chill out and just relax, and it will come. Have faith, and don't work so hard. Yeah, push it, 12 hours a day, whatever, code hard, but don't push it to the point where you go to bed and, you make yourself sick over this. And anybody else out there as well, anyone on the channel listening, please don't do that to yourself. Obviously you want success, and so do we, whether that's as a creator or an entrepreneur, or whether you're financially focused or creative focused, is don't kill yourself doing it. Don't go to that point of failure where you just like, you're pumping iron, you're working out so hard, and it gets to the point where the next day your muscles are crushed and you can't do anything, and you can't do anything for a week. It's like that. You've worked so hard, you've coded so hard, you've stared at the screen for 15 hours, and you're dead for the next week. You're burnt out, as we say, in the industry. You don't let yourself burn out. So big one for 2014. Don't do that to myself. Stick to my plan and make financial targets. In 2013, I had a lot of ups and downs emotionally, and in my targets as well. I'd make a target. I'd say, okay, I want to do this game for this, or I want to make Cobalt Play achieve this. I want to achieve these games or these goals by this date. And I sort of swerved a little bit off those paths. And one of the reasons was that, as I said a few videos ago, or maybe a month ago, I said that I wanted to do one game every 5 days or something. And what I did was I did that for, say, 2 or 3 games, but then I lost interest. And I wanted to do something bigger and cooler, like Super Bit World. Super Bit World for me, the platform game, which I did, I finished around a month ago, was a big project for me, and it was something that I put a lot of heart into. It was a lot of passion. A type of game that I really enjoyed to make and to play as well. I really liked playing that game, and I wanted to make a game that I love to do. And that's all cool, and I think the best work comes out of that. But I think what I said to myself is, right, this game isn't making any money, so let's change the model. You've got to be flexible. And then I'd say to myself, hey, okay, I'll do games quickly and small and fun. Fun games that people can play on the bus, or kill a few minutes with, and they get some entertainment from that. And that's the goal, is to entertain people. Then I'd do the 3 games, and then I'd go back to doing a big game, and I'd change my model, and I'd swerve around. And so I didn't like that with myself. I want to stick to the plan. And I wrote down a bunch of financial goals here in my little book, and I wrote down the dates that I've got to achieve these financial goals. And I've got the dates, and I've got said when I've got to make them, and I've got the revenue that I intend to make. And I think for me the reason is because I find I feel myself more of an entrepreneur rather than a creative game developer. I love to design and code, but I think being an entrepreneur and being creative within business is something that I like to do more than actually building the games. But I like to do them both. So, but I am very financially motivated for sure. And I gave myself these goals, and so I've got to stick to my plan. Stick to your plan. Don't change it even when it feels like shit, even when it feels like it's getting boring. It feels like it's just, oh my God, I'm grinding, and find a way to make that grind fun. So if I'm making a game every 2 or 3 days, like you've seen on those recent videos, if that's what I'm doing and it's boring, find a way to make that fun. Find a way to make that like, oh hey, I'm making these games in 2 or 3 days. And the game, for me, the fun part is to see how fast I can do it, how much ARPU, average revenue per user, I can make on these games. You know, make the process into a game, some kind of competition for yourself, so that you keep it interesting. But whatever plan you get, whatever plan I get, is I stick to the plan and don't swerve from it. Especially now that I know I can achieve I can achieve the goals for sure with this plan, and just stick to it no matter whether it gets boring or not. So that's one of my other ones for 2014. And I hope you guys have some plans too for 2014. Please let me know. Let me know if you agree with what I've just said. Is this a business for you? Are you cool to like stay as an indie coder developing games, because there's a lot of passion in that? Or are you more of an entrepreneur like me? Do you want to build businesses around the games industry and see it grow? Because that's really my goal. That's what I want to achieve. And so anyway. But anyway, more videos coming soon. I'm gonna talk more on the videos, and I've said I'm gonna do things like the chart boost one, and I've said like here the AdMob one, because now my chart boost revenue for the first time today, or this past few days, actually beat my AdMob revenue. That's really big. If I didn't have chart boost, I would have been in big trouble in 2013. But because I found chart boost and I listened to other developers, I increased the revenue a lot. And so that's this. What I said before is spreading your revenue stream, is having AdMob or Tap for Tap or RevMob or AppLovin or Chartboost, all of them together, offer walls, in-app purchases, anything that can spread that risk out is very important. So I'll do a video on that one soon. And I'm also going to release an answer to the questions, the recent comments that you guys have given over this past 1 month. I started a video yesterday and I was in my bed talking for 15 minutes on camera, and for God's sake, I forgot to turn on the mic. What a pain in the ass. And I really hope I've not forgotten to turn it on now, or I'm going to be super pissed. So let's hope I've not. But I'm going to do an answers to the questions, because a few of you guys mentioned that you really like to see me talk about your comments directly on camera. So I'm going to keep that up, and I'm glad you guys like it. It's great feedback for me and the channel. As always, guys, please like and subscribe. That really helps me. It helps grow the channel. It helps me get some more subscribers. And as I see more subscribers, more comments, and a little more revenue coming from YouTube, then it makes me focus more on this. So that's really, really cool, and thank you for all the support. So please tap that like and subscribe button below if you've not done already. Anyway, a great big Happy New Year for 2014, everyone. Merry Christmas as well. I'm looking forward to an awesome 2014, a great new year. And I hope that I can partner with some of you guys in some way, because I've already made some great friends and looking to build the partnerships and cooperation in this 2014. Anyway, have a great night, everyone. Party hard, get drunk, and have a great time. All right, take care. Bye-bye.